Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Garage Studio Modelers. I'm Dave Forrest, this is my good friend.
Hello.
And in today's episode we're going to continue on the Panther G, the Das Work Super Blitz
You
kit?
should know that.
I forget.
Another thing on the Panther? Okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So camo's on.
Yeah.
As you can see, it's all done. And I've weathered, done a wash and done some weathering on the turret, just initial stages. Mm-hmm. Still more to go on that. Mm-hmm. I put the decals on, so I gave it a filter, gloss coated.
Oh, like an enamel filter.
Yes.
What color for filter?
Oh, just I use oil paints. Like I used.
So like a brown.
No, like a burnt umber.
Oh, burnt umber. So yeah, okay.
Right?
So on a tricolor scheme.
Yeah. So there was a couple there was burnt umber in another color. So
there's burnt umber and raw umber.
Right, and.
It tones it down.
It tones it. Yeah, it just kind of brings it together a little bit. It does.
Right? Otherwise, it looks toyish.
A little bit, yeah. A little garish. So it looks more,
Yeah.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
The decal. So I sourced the crosses from a fine or echelon.
Oh, echelon. Are they dry? No.
No, they're water slide, but they're great. They're like the best armored decals.
And the 209 is from the kit.
The 209, yeah, I ended up using it from the kit. So I had another 209 that I got from one of those top color books.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That have the profiles and they have the decals. Yeah. So the later versions of the top color books are printed by Cartograph. Those decals are beautiful. Mm-hmm. The early versions are like Tech Mod or something.
Okay.
And they just shattered.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They just and so I ended up using the kit decals after.
I wonder to what degree from the audience do guys buy? I got a lot of old Decals, right? Like, do they keep after you? I haven't had issues so far, but then again,
I think some do, some don't.
Oh, okay.
I think like I've if you think about the micro scale, print scale, anything Cartograph,
they keep.
They seem to keep.
Yes.
Right, they seem to keep. Well, as long as they're not out in the sun or.
Because I like buying rare Decals, see it, grab it.
Yeah.
Right? I may not build that kit for a couple of years, but you take the chance.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So the turret is, got a wash up. I'm working my way along the hull and I'm starting to paint some of the tools. But what I wanted to focus today on is doing a little bit of weathering. And I don't know if you can see it here, but my go-to is I love this.
You love that stuff, don't you?
This Terrain's Dark Earth diorama, which is like a textured acrylic earth product. Mm-hmm. That's acrylic, so you thin it with water. Mm-hmm. And I like to use that as a base because it provides some texture. Right, there's some grit to it. There's some volume to it, and then just go over it with oils.
Now that's water-based, right?
That is water-based.
So when you put it on, can you take it off? If it dries, you can't work it.
No,
okay.
It's not like a gouache or whatever.
Now, you mentioned it. The gouache, is that how you pronounce it?
Gouache.
I'm using the AK stuff. It's great. Because you put it on, it's probably not as thick as that. But what happens is when you put it on, it looks absolutely horrible. And you let it set.
Yeah.
And then when you put water on it, it reactivates it. And it gives you a lot of time to...
But then you got to seal it.
Yeah, you have to seal it.
Right?
You have to seal it.
Right?
You got to seal it. But I'm doing it now on the one of my Fiat half tracks. It's beautiful stuff.
Nice.
It's really
nice.
Yeah, maybe you know what I should do? Maybe just do one episode or something on the go, and then just kind of. I don't do a lot on camera, sorry guys, but maybe do that and to show how.
I got some of the Gunzy gouaches.
Oh,
which are the same thing.
Okay.
I guess,
okay.
Right? So and I haven't used them yet. So
they're great. I love them.
Yeah, I would love to go.
And I'm not a fan of. Okay, maybe I'm not a huge fan of acrylic weathering. I like enamels, but this one I like.
Well, I think you blend it in, right? Like
you blend it. Yeah.
Like this is a great base, and then you just move the color around with oils.
So when you put it on, you have how long to work it?
Like not long. You go like a few minutes.
Oh, wow.
And you got to keep it wet.
Yeah,
right. If it dries for a few minutes,
it's gone.
It's
okay.
It's on there. Yeah. So I did. So last night I did a couple of the wheels, or I did a row of the wheels. Remember, these are all attached.
With this stuff.
Yeah. So I put this stuff on. So I have a working copy here to start with.
Yeah.
And then really just two oil paints. I used a light mud and a dark brown wash or dark brown from Aptal.
And that's it.
Yeah, I've got a
you're
couple.
gonna
I've got dark mud and I've got dust as well. But these are the two colors I like.
No. Can I ask you? Are you using powders with this now?
Not yet.
But you will later.
I might.
But you don't have to.
You don't have to. That's the nice thing about
Right?
oils.
I find if you use the powders, it gets even more dirty. But if you want like a dusty road appearance,
Yeah.
I think that's fine, right?
Yeah, I think this is as weathered as they're going to get.
Okay.
Right. Maybe I might throw, like, I tried to put a bit of an oil stain in here.
Right.
On
Because
the side.
some people ask, right? When should I use powders? And
Yeah, I think it's
right.
To me, it's an organic fluid.
Yeah, you know,
Process.
I had a. We won't mention names. There's a fellow that we know of, great modeler, but I think he wants to apply every single weathering, and I find it overwhelms.
No, you don't need to.
You have to put this. You have to do dry brushing. You have to do powders. You have to do. You know what I mean?
I mean, Rinaldi uses just oils. He does everything with oils.
No pigments.
He used to use pigments, but I think now he's like he might throw pigments if he needs like volume. I think,
Yeah,
but a lot of his weathering is just oils.
I do like oils. Yeah.
So
Okay.
so let's bust right into it.
So
So there's an overhead view, so hopefully everybody can see what I'm doing here. So what I've done on this, so this is completed. So you can see here, I started with some mud and I just worked in,
that's pretty good. And it's just oils.
And it's just oils, and I did some speckling, the various colors, right, front and back. So the back I'm not going to pay too much attention to, but the front, and even these are going to be hot, hid by another set of wheels.
Yeah.
Right?
That's cool. May I?
Yeah, absolutely. So on this one, I've applied
Nice.
the acrylic earth, the dark earth. So I'll show you how I do that. So this side is just paint. Now I haven't put a wash. I haven't. So
But you've put a protective coating on.
no protective. This is just
Oh.
paint. This is just lacquer paint.
Okay.
So let's move this off. This will come into play a little bit later. As will this.
I see what you're doing.
So
That goes on first.
Yeah, so I put this on first.
Right. So I was using the gouache first, and then I'll do the oil. So you're doing the same thing, just this with this acrylic paste. Weathering, I find, on a model for is always different for every project I do. It's not a sequential same approach. 'Cause it depends if you want dusty, muddy.
Yeah, for me, yes. But the first thing I always start with is this.
Okay.
Right, so this is kind of so let's put that over here. So we're focusing on this. So I just wet the brush a little bit, go and pick up some product.
And again, you mentioned that you got to work fast with this.
Yeah, so I'll just blot this into the corners.
So when you do that, it always looks horrible, doesn't it? When you
for
put it
sure.
on?
It looks like it's too
It's
much.
taking it away that refines it.
And I'm going to do, I should be doing just a wheel at a time, but I'm going to go ahead and prep this other guy here. So I won't do any more than that.
Is that stuff thick?
Yeah, look.
Oh yeah.
it's as thick as you want it to be.
It does have a bit of volume, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
So some of these I'll just, like this one will be a little bit more right here. So then I'll just unload the brush. And then I'll just stipple just to kind of blend, because I want some of the color to show through.
Do you find that when you use this paste, you have to put oils over it to settle it?
To settle it?
Yeah, for a settled effect. In other words.
Oh yeah, like you
have to, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, the paste itself looks a little bit
Yeah,
one-dimensional.
it's like there's no variation.
Yeah.
In the color. And then same thing on this, just the same thing, just stipple it in, just to blend it. And so I like the fact that there's more mud in the side here, so I'm going to leave that built up. But if I wanted to, I could just take that out.
Right. Oh, you're using the water to remove it now.
Yeah, just to move it around, just blend it in. Right. Now again, you have I think as close. Like I'm a big believer that in each phase, you try and get it as close to looking good as possible. Meaning, if you did nothing else to it, it would look okay, right?
If I could add, I find that when I'm doing it, each layer is not just a lump of weathering. I find that layering in very thin layers is better than a thick layer.
You can always
come back.
Yeah, you can always add. It's a little bit harder to take away once it's set. Especially this stuff. Like once this is set, it's rock hard. So those are the first. So let's go. So you see how quick and easy this is. All right.
I'm going to try that on my Fiat because it's basically in Italy with just dry road dust, right? It's not Russia and the mud. So
yeah. Now I know Night Shift. This is where I got this from. So I'm stealing from
plagiarism
from Martin there at Night Shift, but so initially when he was doing this, he was just looking at this as a texture layer. So he wasn't, in fact, but I like the fact that it's a good color.
Have you ever added powders to it to make it like even more? You don't need it.
I don't need it.
Because the powders would change. The powders would change. Yeah, I mean that's the whole thing with weathering.
Yeah,
you could add powders to it.
Totally.
Okay. How far do you go? Right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's knowing when to stop.
Yeah. And sometimes that's a great point.
I find
know when
tricky.
to stop. And for me, it's just as I get towards the end of a model, I just do little bits and then walk away or do something and then come back to it.
Yeah, I find that honestly the best models to my eye are the ones that are thin layered and precise, rather than let's just throw a bunch of mud on it. Unless it's Russia and the deep mud, you know what I mean? I find they're more effective and pleasing to the eye.
Now I'm just taking some of the product off of the rims here because there would be contact with the guide teeth,
right,
or the guide horns.
Let me look at your finished product here. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Not bad, eh? Not bad
for an amateur.
For a Sunday morning amateur.
Yeah. This one's got subtle splatters. Is that how'd you do this?
Speckles. I'll show that.
Oh,
with the oil paint.
Oh, of course.
So done. So that's all you need. Right.
Yeah.
So
that was quick.
Yeah, very quick. A little bit more mud on these than on those ones, but that'll all get blended. And again, with this stuff, just leaving the cap on doesn't it dries out. So I just put a little piece of cellophane.
That's a good idea.
Over it.
That's a very good idea.
Right, just to keep it. And even if it just sits for a while, it still manages to dry out a tiny bit. But just add some water to it.
That's a good idea.
A few drops of water.
I don't do that. I better go home and do that.
You better go home and do that. So we're done with the water stuff, so let's get that out of the way. We're done with this guy.
You have to let it dry, don't you, or no?
Yeah, but
well,
I've got the other.
You use a hairdryer, folks. That's
you could, yeah. But this dries pretty quick.
Oh.
But I've got the other side done.
Oh,
so that's been
just like a cooking show.
Just like the cooking show, we cook here. I'll do this for that. Okay. So this guy goes away. So now, again, I like to put them on cardboard paper just to get the linseed oil out because that makes it a little bit more glossy. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of odorless thinner. Any odorless thinner will do. And just create a bit of a...
By the way, for you folks that use enamel thinners, I find that this odorless stuff is very good. It's not just about the lack of smell, but if you use Humbrol, which I like, it's a very hot thinner. The Humbrol enamel thinners are much more hot in terms of their strength. So just keep that in mind if you're using enamel thinners. These are softer.
Yes. Yeah. Which is what I also really like about them more than anything. Okay, so let's start with my dry mud color here. So again, this has been sitting overnight. So it's been sitting
on a piece of cardboard.
This is about 10 hours.
To take the linseed out.
Yeah.
No, those are what
Aptalung, yeah. And then I just reactivate it with a little bit with a slightly moist brush, and just start to work that in. And then now we start.
What does Aptalung mean?
I think it's like battalion, or
I think the paints sell better when they're called Abteilung rather than battalion paints. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could be wrong on that. Don't trust my German on that.
You speak German.
Ein bisschen. German's a bit. I worked in Germany for a while, which is cool.
I'd like to go to. What are you doing?
Don't mention the war.
Do not mention the war.
Do not mention.
Yeah. Yeah.
I made that mistake.
We're
once.
gonna do an episode, guys, on Shizuoka show.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, that'll be good.
when you're there, I did apologize about the Battle of Midway. No, joking. I'm just saying. We're gonna get a lot of comments on that. That's so politically incorrect.
Nobody remembers though.
No, it's true, right?
Those that might be outraged by that or take offense to that won't remember. Or
well, that's very true, right? Everybody gets. I mean, we're talking about it now, but everybody's on the Ukraine war, and you know how. Remember at the beginning, some people were building and says, "Why are you building a Russian?" Well, to me, it's about the model, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean it's not great what's happening there.
No,
by any stretch,
no,
but
by any means. But I don't have an issue if somebody does a Russian armor piece in the Ukraine war because I just like the equipment and.
But I could see where some might get.
I get it. It's so fresh in their memories.
Well, if they have family back there, it might be
right.
But it's a model.
But I'm sure back in ‑41, if this hobby was around and you built nothing but Japanese Zeros, probably be a sticking point.
You were gonna get sent to a camp.
Yes.
100%.
That's looking good.
Yeah, so you just kind of work it in, and the nice thing with oils
and
is
it's thin.
Yeah, it's very thin. Well, it's as thin as you want it to be.
And then you just take it away.
Yeah.
They're gonna try that on my Fiat.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's work on. Again, you see how simple this is, and you can reactivate these things. Like this can sit on here for days.
It can, yeah. I do find that the gouaches compared to this stuff, they're great, but the effect is not the buildup of dirt that this has. There's no buildup. It's just a.
What do you mean?
A thin layer of dirt is what
the
gouache gives you. This one seems to give you a little bit of grit and volume, right?
Well, it's building on what's there.
Yeah.
The oil paint.
It's got some, which the gouache does not. And if that's the effect you want, then it's fine.
Like here.
I can see it. There's a buildup.
Yeah, that's oil paint.
Yeah.
Like there's some the acrylic product underneath.
Yes, got it.
But there's some a thick application because I wanted to show some kind of wet mud in that corner. Again, it's all very random. And the nice thing is if you're. So this to me is this is hidden, right? So this is going to be against the wall. So nobody's going to see this, especially because this is kind of in the middle of the interleaving road wheels. So it's a great place to practice.
Yeah. And the underside.
So if you're nervous, just do the back.
Do the back
and
or the underside.
Yeah, or do the underside.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's a great way. It's a great option to have.
Since we're talking about techniques, the other thing that I like to do as a first step in weathering an armor vehicle is the hairspray technique. So I spray the whole underside of a tank, like a dirt or dust, and use the hairspray and take it off. So it's kind of looks like it's flaked off mud, and that's my base for building further layers of weathering. It gives that 3D look.
I never had much luck. I did some of the hairspray.
Well,
and it's something I got to spend.
I love it.
And do you use actual hairspray or do you use one of the...
I use any kind from the... People say you use men's one. Nah, I've used all kinds.
Doesn't matter.
Tresemme, I've used all kinds. I spend a lot of time in the women's section at Shoppers, just to let you know.
Who's this creepy guy? Hanging out. Looking at the hair products.
Looking at the hair products, yes.
It would be even more of a creepy thing if I was doing it.
Well, the other thing I use for rigging small 1/7 biplanes is artificial hair is not bad now.
Artificial hair?
You go to those salons and they sell those packs of long artificial hair for women.
Oh, like extensions?
Yeah. I got a couple of... I went in, I got a little dark brown one, I got a black one.
Nice.
And the lady said, "How can I help you?" I said, "I'm looking for long..." What do you call them? Extensions. And so she's kind of puzzled and go, "Yeah, I want that one." I bought 3 packs. I didn't tell her what they were for.
No, keep it a mystery.
No, I'll keep it a mystery.
I love that.
Yeah.
So there you go. So that's the first.
Pretty good.
Yeah. So let's put. Let's go with the darker color.
Now, what do you got on that pad? 2 colors, or 4?
4.
You got 4.
Yeah, but I'm really just using these 2.
Okay.
Right. This is so again. This is dry or light mud, dark mud. I think
dark mud.
I think this is dark brown wash.
Okay.
And that's dust. The dust is a bit too light.
I think so. Yeah. I think so.
So let's find where there's
I find for dust, it's better to do a very thin coat of a dust spray application rather than like the oils, because I find you're right. That one's very, very stark.
So I'm just going to build up. I'm going to say that there's some wet mud in this corner here. So I'm just kind of build that up. So again, this is to your point. You can build a little bit of volume with the oil paints that maybe you can't do with the gouaches. Like
I suppose you could even add some powders to the surface and then the oils on top of it.
Yeah,
right?
they have to give it texture, right?
Yeah.
Or alter the color, or.
No, that's why I find that.
I'm kind of off powders.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I find they're like this is more controlled.
It is more controlled.
I find the powders are a little hit and miss, or a little too random.
So you're a powder racist? Is that what you're saying? You don't like powders?
I'm a powder, maybe elitist snob.
I find powders are useful when you want to get specific effects where there's somebody walked in, like cockpits. Like you add a bit of powder, and then like you've done this before, you hit it with Tamiya thinner, and it gives it that little.
Yeah, it fixes it.
And it's just enough to say the pilot walked in there.
Yeah.
Right? That's what
they have their uses. I used to religiously, like I would, like what I'm doing with this acrylic paste.
Yeah.
I would build up with powder. Right, like you would cake it on and then drop the thinner on it, fix
got it,
and then it would kind of settle and reduce a bit. But it was very random.
Yes, it is.
And
it is. It's true. With that, you have to. It's a lot of work to put powders on. I'm contemplating whether I want to use them on my Fiat 61 or not.
And the nice thing about this is if I want to do like a spot wash, well here, I'll use this other brush. So let's say I want to bring out bolt details. I can just create a quick little wash, and then
right,
and
put it around
just put a little. If I want to do that here. So that's why I don't put a wash. I don't bother putting a wash on the road wheels before I do
get it.
Because a lot of it's going to get hidden anyways.
Yeah,
and if there's something that you want to...
Yeah, that's true. Because you put a universal wash, it just covers everything.
And it's just more time, and trying to... Like, how do you cut time out of the process?
I do find that weathering is an art. Because, right, it's not like just airbrushing a color on a tank or an aircraft or ship. It's playing with the different layering.
Yeah, it's playing. But that's it. You got to play around with it.
You got to play around with it. Yeah, and I know a lot of people out there may find it intimidating, but I think the secret to me is you put it on and you take away as enough of it until you're comfortable. Otherwise, it gets caked in weathering, and it's too much sometimes.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you just got to spend time doing it. And the nice thing about oils is that you can go back and forth.
Yes.
And you can take away. If you don't like it, you start over.
Yes.
And you just, bit by bit.
Yes.
And that's how I did this. I just spent time at the bench doing it.
Yep. That's why I prefer oils as the overall.
And stippling is the name of the game. Yeah. For me, anyways. For me, stippling is the name of the game. Like that. Like once I figured out stippling.
Mm-hmm. You mean with a stiff brush?
Yeah, or
just that brush.
Just this, like just kind of just to work it in.
Yeah.
Like that to me was a game changer.
Yep. The other thing you can do is use a wash, put it on, and then stipple it away. Right? Just a pure wash on the top of a tank.
Yeah, you could.
And stipple it away, and it gives it that little, there's a tiny bit of stain there.
So there you go. So there's like I don't know how long you've been talking.
20 minutes?
Maybe, not even. From start to finish?
Yep.
So now we can do some spec. So with speckling, I might go with a slightly lighter color.
Mm-hmm.
Like I might go with
the dust
color, right? And
we talked about this before. Yeah, right. We talked about this before. You'll know when to stop when your eye tells you to stop.
Yeah.
If you can train your eye to say this looks good, this doesn't look good, you have the you have the technique. Don't just focus on the technique. Kind of train your eye to look at pictures and other people's work. This works. This doesn't work. It's too heavy. It's too light.
So here I just put some of the light dust on, or the dust, and
with the stippling.
No, with the
toothpick.
Yeah, speckling with the toothpicks. And this is a little bit clumsy, so I'm just gonna remove that or blend it.
They do have splatter effect paints too, as you know.
It's gimmicky. And again, I'm the first one to fall for that. But
You know what I like? I like the Vallejo. Is it Vallejo crushed grass? You ever use that stuff?
yeah, I did.
I like it.
It's okay.
It's got the little clumps of grass in it.
Yeah. I just find it looks messy though.
Yeah, you have to take it away. You
Yeah.
put it on and you take a lot of it away.
Yeah.
So you're left with the tiny little grass things. Grass things, is that a word?
Maybe.
You know,
Maybe
you-
just get the.
I used to work as media contact at the city and I can't even speak and call it grass things, grass, whatever.
Well, you've been out of business for a while, so
Yeah.
it's hard. And you just go back and forth, and maybe now let's do some dark speckles. Same thing, right? You just create a little.
Now, would you use these? You'd have to use the same colors on the tracks, right?
Yeah, the same.
Right. You have
yeah.
you have to use those same
Yeah.
technique. Otherwise, it looks weird.
But there's I find there's a range.
What do you
Like-
mean a range?
Like you can.
Oh,
Like it can't
can
be
push-
too. Yeah, it's got to be in the same family of
that's
colors.
what I meant. Yeah, it's got to be the same zone.
Yeah.
You know, I have taken your approach to building tracked vehicles to heart now. I used to do the wheels and tracks separately. I don't anymore. I glue them all on, and you get the alignment perfect.
Yeah.
And then you work the.
Depends on the vehicle.
Well, the half track I was doing, it's a SDKF set 7. Oh my God, it's really hard to get those wheels lined up with those tracks. And when I built it together, it was way easier. You don't have floating wheels, you don't have any of that stuff. But again, everybody's different.
So there you go. So I'd say that's done.
It's done. That's it.
That's
You're
it.
done.
Yeah, I
Okay.
might maybe work this in a bit more. But that's so those are the road wheels.
Okay, very nice.
So easy. So this will be the same process that I
Yep.
do on all the other road wheels, and on the hull.
And you started on the hull.
I started. Yeah, I just put the.
Nice.
Now what I might have to do. Well, it depends. So the problem, the only drawback of this stuff, is that to create the texture, it's got like, I don't know, like stripper glitter in there, right? It's got this, like it's got these little crystals.
Yeah,
that are, so you can kind of see in the light. They're a
Yes.
little bit reflective.
And you have to apply a
So
flat coat.
yeah, so what I've done in the past is I've just applied like a thin, flat, like dust buff.
Ah, yeah.
Right, just to knock
That's
it
what I
back,
do, to
or
knock it
earth
back.
color, or
Yeah,
something.
I do that too.
But I might wait and see how how everything gets covered with the oils before I try that.
Right.
Right, because it just obliterates. Like
It
covering
does.
it just like it just kind of.
Unless it's absolutely thin, then it's okay. But
Yeah.
you've got to be very
You got
careful.
to be very thin. So. Yeah. So this is coming along.
There you go. Beautiful.
Getting there. So I think maybe the next thing that we do is I'll show you how to paint. Like I'll save one of the tools.
Yeah, yeah.
And we'll paint the tool on camera.
All right.
And show you kind of what I do for that. But again, a great little model.
And look at the alignment of the wheels. It's perfect.
Yeah, because it's I don't mind. Like some people think this is cheating. I think it's fantastic.
No, I think it's great.
Like that's straight.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the first out in terms of judging. Is your wheels are out of alignment, floating, or any of that bull crap.
Yeah.
So this just does it for you.
Yeah. Now some kits, like the Tamiya kits,
Yeah.
they've figured it out.
Yeah.
Right. Like even with the separate wheels, the alignment is generally always perfect. I found with the Ming series of like the Panther G.
Yes.
Like
I had huge problems.
Like I had to clamp two steel rulers.
Yep.
To get the
Me
alignment
too.
to match,
Me too.
and it worked.
Me too.
And you got to throw out the polycaps.
Yes, that's right. I didn't
Polycaps
use
are
the polycaps.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Yes, they're horrible. They're horrible.
But this just takes all the guesswork out of it.
Yeah.
You know.
The other hard one that I struggle with is the Italeri Simovante. That Italian light tank. It's got that weird suspension. Oh my God, that was difficult.
I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a smaller one.
That's the smaller guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm hoping to get an article out too.
Nice. I started building one of those way back.
It's a cool tank.
It's a cool tank.
It's just
all
it's
the
a
Italian
tough
stuff
one.
is cool.
It's cool. It's cool. I mean, well, maybe I'll do an episode. I don't know. It's already done though. But they served on the Eastern Front.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So, same thing with a lot of their aircraft too.
Yes,
A lot of
Mach
their fighters.
200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Setas.
Yeah.
What are they? The Setas. what do they set it?
So I had MC200s, 202s.
Yeah, with the radial engine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The radial engine is a 200 Sayata. Yeah, they served on the Eastern Front.
I want to do after visiting that. When I was in Italy recently, I stopped at the Italian Air Force Museum. Just
They
outside
had
Rome.
one there.
They did, yeah. It was so I was really inspired. So I want to get
It's one of my favorite models.
like an Imam Row 43
Oh,
seaplane.
the biplane.
The biplane.
Yeah. You have one. Classic airframes? No.
I don't.
Special hobby?
I don't have one.
You don't have one?
I want to get one. So
Yeah, that's
so. There's one airplane that I want to build out of that collection. I just thought that was the most
the Row 43. Yeah,
with the red stripes on the top of the wing.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I might purchase that.
I don't have that one either. In 48th. Yeah.
It's probably about that big.
It's about that big. Yeah, I got them in 72nd. But yeah, beautiful.
So
I
that
might
might be.
digress, but yeah,
Yeah,
beautiful.
we're off script here,
Mhm.
but yeah.
We're-
So that's the
Yeah.
so that's I'll finish up the weathering, and the
Okay.
next episode we'll do the tools, and then I think we'll pretty much be done. Then the tracks are going to be 3D printed either.
All right, you're using different ones rather than the kit ones.
Yeah, the kit ones are
Yeah.
because the
the
teeth
guide
are
horn?
high, the guide
Yeah,
horns
yeah.
are not hollow.
Okay.
Right. So
All right.
yeah. So next time we'll kind of progress this build. So thanks for hanging out with us,
Yeah.
and we'll see you next time. Take care,
All right.
everyone. Bye bye.